A very good morning. Welcome to Impact Art. Today we are in Oroville and meeting Rosalba, who is an amazing art therapist working on the buck flower therapy and the mandala art. She's from Italy, and today we are visiting her home. Here we are to talk to her about her story, her journey, how she came to India, and how she's using art to make world a better place. So we'd like to show you a little bit of where she lives. This is where she lives. Hi, Rosalba.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. We welcome you to the Impact Hour.
Nice, thank you.
So we would like to know a little bit about you.
Okay, I'm Rosalba. I'm Italian. I'm 56 years old. I have my son with me that I decided to bring to India when he was 6 to give him the education that I wished. And since 2008, we are living this adventure inside Auroville, enjoying in the atmosphere with all its colors and smell and fragrance and taste, and we are happy.
So, where are you born? You said you're from Italy. So, as a woman, as a girl, when you were a child, tell us a little bit of your story from your school, from your childhood as a girl.
Well, even my country, at least my family, let's say, let's to be clear. Okay, my family originally is coming from South Italy, that is very close in terms of culture to South India, all the south of the world, I guess.
Right.
And so my childhood was pretty hard in the sense that I made the first mistake born as a woman and not as a boy. And this created an impact on my family that was not happy about anything related to me. And because of it and because of my personality, let's say, I was always a bit out of the line. And this generate a big conflict full time with my family, where I was standing for my right and feeling strongly the right to be a woman. Actually, this came later. But at the beginning, if you consider, let's have a sit
Yeah,
in there.
sure.
Yeah?
Yes.
And this, just because I born from a handicapped woman, and I was suffering a lot for her sad life. She was not free to choose somehow. She was just and only chosen by others, and I was very protective of her. And this had a big impact on me. First, because I try to pretend to make them happy, acquiring and using male aptitude. And this was not fitting. Of course, I was a woman, so in terms of my father opinion, my mother opinion, I was just an headache, okay? Till I decided to leave the family house and start my own exploration of what it means life. And this happened through a job, an opportunity of a job that was in the new psychiatry center, working about integration and rehabilitation of psychiatric patients. And there I started my real journey, and I remained stuck in that field for, till now, actually. I was only 19 when I jumped in. And because of all this experience that I collect through patients, family of patients, and society response, and and all the blah blah blah. It was a moment of revolution in my country. The new ciao Matu. The new psychiatry was try to open the consciousness of people.
Right.
Yeah, and it was very very difficult. It was very very difficult, and I was a warrior full of energy. I'm an Aries, so it's yabba-dabba-doo. And meantime, I was really developing this sensitivity, this empathy with the social condition, the daily life of women and different people. And I remain very sensitive about this topic till now, till now. So of course it was hard. Of course I got some little territory to apply in my life, let's say, and to conquer my freedom and my cubic meter of air, as I like to define, and that's why you find me here. Here I got it. Yep.
How did your journey transcend to India? And how did you feel about gender? Because you have a perspective about being Italy and you've spoken about this. But how did you feel coming to India, which is a complete flip side story of Italy? If you look at it from the gender lens.
India was a wonderful surprise because I came into a country where the social perception of women is even worse than not in my country.
Right.
And I start exploring this and discovering it. I'm still discovering after 13 years that I'm here. And till a certain point, just because of my background and my passion and my field, let's say, I decided to get involved even here at social level. So at one point I decided to become a teacher. Why? Because to try to put this 2 spoons of consciousness to adult people, I gave up. I really gave up. As a therapist, as a teacher, mainly I feel a therapist. It's very, very difficult, to break this mental structure that each one built up. And so because of it, I decided to try to spread some seeds.
Right.
That's why I'm deep involved in the educational programs of Auroville, where I try just to share the tools that I discover, that I collect, and they reveal to be useful, at least in my life. So I'm really convinced that we cannot offer anything else than what we have. And I'm here sharing what I have in my pocket. That is not a big amount of things, but it's also not so small. And now is more than 5 years that I'm involved in this. This is the service that I offer in this big family called Auroville. And I could collect a nice result, so it means it's working. For someone it's working, and I'm happy with it.
And in your wild adventure and in this great journey, I'm sure that it's hard to find a place to call that, yeah, this is my place. It's hard to resonate to a place and feel connected to it because it's the place that creates peace. So, how did you choose and when did you choose Auroville, and what are the sources that you took to resolve the little bit of problem towards the mental health and the therapy? So, the two mediums that you have chosen and also Auroville. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, Auroville is a dream of a woman. And as land, beyond the people, beyond the building, beyond the interesting architecture and whatever else is interesting in this place, each grain of sand, each grain of this soil carry this energy of this woman. She was the spiritual partner of Sri Aurobindo, and I guess many people know more Sri Aurobindo than Mother. I feel personally much more connected with Mother. She reached straight my heart. And it was interesting because when I discovered Auroville and the dream about Auroville, I felt she put in word what was my aspiration. And so with it, I resonate so much, but so much that the real decision came when I got pregnant of my son, and I start experiencing this inner journey and reconnection with the essence of the Shakti. And there it was so clear to me, so clear that this was the place where I want to grow up my son or my daughter. At that time, I didn't know who was coming.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely clear that this was the place. And it just happened naturally. So we came with my son first time in Auroville when he was 4 years old. And he was so wise and so determined to tell me immediately, coming from the airport and at the entrance of Auroville, he was so clear to say, you have to promise, Mom, you will find a place for me here because it's here where I want to live. And I just did it. And so 1 year and a half later, we moved here to stay. And since then, we are still here in love with the lifestyle that we are allowed to have here. The richness of Auroville that I feel is at an energetical level, each of us is allowed to be. And to be is more than enough. On the contrary of wherever else where usually you need a mask to relate, to insert yourself in the society structure and to make happy your neighbor and your family and your teacher and your boss. Here this is not essential.
Right.
What is essential is make yourself happy, realize yourself, and through your realization become this homeopathic pill that can spread health and happiness, enjoy your living and your surround. And for me, this continues to be the richness of this place. And this is what. And even we face a problem because we continue to be human, very much, me first. But beyond that, it's a great experiment, it's a great challenge, a great adventure, especially if the motivation, the determination to manifest the better side of each of us, it's still there, you know. It's a constantly spark that make life happen daily, full of miracle. Sometimes also we get some slap. It's okay. It belongs to life. I already transcend the fact that life is just and only joy. Life it's all. It is all. Suffering belongs to life, and suffering comes when we have to learn something. So I learn how to welcome also the difficult moment, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I think a mosquito, they are killing us.
Yes.
Better we move a bit.
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind. I smoke
Yes.
my cigarette.
No problem. Rosalba, can you speak a little bit about the buckflower and mandala?
Oh, yes.
And
Okay.
also, I think we can have a look at the mandalas
Oh,
which
yes.
are there.
Come in.
Yes.
Okay, this is my little funny and messy house. And yeah, you can see some example of my experimentation. Yeah. On black paper, I was exploring how to put color coming out from the darkness. And I could. It's okay. And as well, those are mainly exercise that I use as a tools during my course.
Okay.
And valuable one, I guess, there is that lotus flower that is really
Wow.
meaningful to me, and it's really representative of me. In there you can see all the shade and shadow and all the effort to reach this integration, and between mainly this is my big challenge, and between the two archetypes, male and female, they have to integrate. It's enough this fighting that we have. We born at an energetical level to combine and to be supportive and to complete each other, and I strongly feel that we have to go back in that spot, otherwise there is no meaning. Otherwise there is no meaning. And so for me, the mandala as well Bach flower are just tools, therapeutic tools, to offer a strategy, to offer a possible path to reach this integration inside oneself. Mandalas, well, Bach flower, they presume, for my perception of them, for the usage that I do of them, they offer tools in a path of inner journey to reach that center where the higher being, let's call it like that, is sitting in us. That part of us where we keep all the answer because it's the divine drop that each of us keep born with. We have just to reconnect with it. And this is my, there is where my energy goes.
Right.
Okay, so both system, mandala according with the experience of Carl Jung, that was very familiar to me during my experience. And Bach flower here, where I reconnect with flowers through a great experience that I had with one woman that met mother when she was still alive, and she did an amazing work with flowers, with the local flowers. So through this experience, I really connect with the flower. They start speaking to me. I start feeling the different energy between one and another. And from there, I realized that it was so fluent for me to connect with Bach flower. That was a system already famous in Europe, really very often used for emotional shaking, let's say, and so I start my trial in here, combining them with all the knowledge that I acquired through the experience with mother flower, through my experience in psychiatry, through my experience on my life, and this is what I'm offer. And I often combine them with mandala practice that, as I told you, it's another therapeutical approach, very smooth, to help people to reconnect with themselves. And now it's a few years that I'm busy with, and I see many good results. And I'm happy to get this indirect recognition by my big family. You know, people continues to come and say, "Oh, it was great. Now I need another help for another problem," and because of it, I decide to share my experience, my discovering about, because it's both field mandala as well, Bach flower. It's an infinite universe to discover.
Right.
It's and I'm so in love with both of them that I continue to do my experiment, I continue my research, my investigation, and every day I get something new that I say, oh, whoa, surprise me. And this surprise that I receive every day sounds to me really like a miracle. So I feel mainly a super lucky person.
Rosalba, your journey is a great example of women, freedom, finding oneself, the self discovery, and also being able to self sustain by doing what you're passionate about
Oh,
and
yes.
feeling full every day. So, contented about life. So, what is that you would like to share with the young girls out there? Because there's so many things. The social structure has already, put and poked so many things on the heads of the girls. So, unlearning and removing away the default social structures, what would you like to share with the young girls out there?
One very important thing, very important, that I figured it out for myself really late. Girl, please never identify with your body. You are not just your body. You are much, 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 much more. Much more. And your body is, let's say, the container of this amazing, wonderful, super powerful energy that is the Shakti energy. Shakti with all her aspect. We are strong, we are sweet, we are receptive, we are wise, we are generous, we are all. We are the tool to manifest in matter the divine idea. Take it in serious. Get responsibility about it and do all it's in your hand to realize yourself and pull it out. Offer this to life, just to life. I discovered during my little life, and for many reasons also insignificant, that doesn't matter to make happy people around us. They will be never happy, all the time, okay? And one moment yes, one moment not. But when we are happy about ourselves, when we feel fulfilled because we feel with the peace in the heart, because we are giving to life what life is expecting from us, with 2 spoons of consciousness, 2 spoons of awareness, and eventually also 2 spoons of love, we are fulfilling our mission. And this will bring back into your heart such a huge grace and huge connection with the divine, with life. Call it as you want. For me, this was the most important discovering in my life. And since then, I really start appreciating the daily life with the little miracle happening every moment. And suddenly, all the people around me changed, and they start appreciating my way to be. And not always we are angry, but
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, people ultimately will agree if you agree to yourself. Like,
This is
yes,
the point,
yes,
exactly.
yes.
And to reach this point, especially when we are young, it's so difficult because we have such a big impact from the expectation, starting from the family, and then the school, and then the boss, and then the neighbor, and then wherever else. But actually, this is a taste, to taste our determination and motivation that bring us to really the commitment to realize oneself.
Right.
I feel this is the key. And to realize oneself, one's supposed to know oneself. So we are such amazing universe to discover every day. I didn't finish yet with myself, and I'm start to going to be old. 56 is not 16, and still I'm surprised, and still I discover that I can do something that I didn't know before. And this is what hold me with a smile, look on my face, and I'm happy for. Yeah.
And lastly, how can people reach out to your work? And how can, we have access to the mandala postcards or in the future?
Okay, let's say it's a new thing after all this journey of investigation that is not ended, but at least it's a good point. I collect a certain point, let's say. I decided to organize myself and offer it to the full globe. So at the moment I'm busy to prepare some videos, some courses, some class, and put all it online available for all the curious people. And this is what I'm a bit out of the line in the sense that I integrate the two tools and I'm working with them on my way. I really personalized. I create my structure to offer to guide people. And actually, I don't do much. I just facilitate the relation in between the client, let's say. It's horrible words, but just to understand. I just facilitate the relation in between the clients and the medium. That can be the mandala or can be the bug flowers.
Right.
And it's more than enough. And it's more than enough because I just accompany the person that is coming to ask for help where he wants to go or
Okay.
she wants to go.
Yeah.
And that's it. Just because I feel very friend with bug flower, I feel very confident and familiar with mandala patterns, colors association, and structure and shapes that can manifest on paper or on canvas. I just facilitate this reconnection that can happen through them. And I feel it's more than enough because the rest, it's the life, it's the magic of life that make it happen.
Right.
Yeah. Our horses. Hey!
Rosalba, thank you so much for being on Impact Hour, giving us the glimpses of your wonderful story. I think, your story will open up the minds and give the power to many young girls out there to make decisions to move towards what their heart and, towards their passion.
I really hope so. I really hope so.
Thank you so much.
That's why I want to put my experience online to inspire, to enrich everyone that is open for.
Right.
So
Really looking forward to that soon. Yes.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Goodbye.